going on, everybody? Welcome back to yet another episode of our weekly podcast. We are batting practice. I'm Josh. Jacob's over there. And look who is back on the bottom. It's Andrew, everyone's favorite bottom. What?
Heyo.
Heyo. Start off early. We got a good one for you tonight, today, whenever you are listening to this. We're talking Sorare NBA. We're talking the in-season tournament, kind of. It's different than what it was. The Emirates NBA Cup, and what the heck is going on with that. And we're looking ahead to the weekend games and who to
Game
look
week
out
8.
for, who to play. It is week 8 already.
Week 8.
Okay,
Week 8.
game week
Game
8.
week 8. Week
It's
4.
flying. It's flying
Yeah.
by.
Means the season's basically a month old at this point. Crazy.
Crazy. That is crazy. But yeah, before we jump into all of that, looking ahead to the weekend, boys, how are we feeling today? It's a little gloomy out. Are we feeling gloomy? Are we feeling not gloomy?
Are you saying it's gloomy where you are too? Because it is where I am.
It is. It's been like rainy and gloomy for the last 15 hours.
Yep.
It's
I
just
like it.
it's just one of those days. Now you got me curious looking at the entire radar of the United States. Is it just one big band of stuff that's
Rainy.
destroying us both?
I think so. I think it's just rainy.
Oh, look at that.
It's just
It
rain.
goes
It's
from
not
Charlotte.
snow though.
It's not by you. You're just cloudy.
Ah.
But look at how high up it goes. It goes all the way to Canada.
There
Oh,
we
dang.
go.
Yeah,
That's a
that's what
It's
we
big
not
got last
focus
focusing.
night.
cloud.
Yeah,
That's what we
there it
got last
goes.
night.
That's not going to focus, but it's raining. Long story short, haven't taken the dogs up. So the dogs are going crazy, but I'm good.
Oh,
You
Yeah.
know who's
okay.
also
Wait.
doing good?
Yeah, who's doing
The
good?
Bucks. The Bucks boys.
Oh,
I'm
Hey,
gonna
chill,
say it.
baby.
I've been thinking it. I should have said it on last week's podcast because it would have aged even better. But guys, I think the Bucks are the NBA Mets. I think the slow start that they had,
Ooh.
I think they're going to be this season's Mets. They're going to go on a run, maybe when no one expects it, and they're gonna show up in the playoffs when it matters. So I don't know who's going to be the Lindor. I don't know who's going to be Lonzo, but we'll see who shows up for us. But I'm thinking the Bucks might be like the Mets, guys.
It's funny you say that because the Bucks have kind of had some memes already this year, which is funny. Just
Yeah,
like the
we
Mets.
need Grimace. We need Grimace.
You
Or
you got Giannis faking out Jaylen Brown, putting his hand out like he's gonna high five him, and then hitting him with one of these. I mean,
before
come on.
that, beginning of the season, Giannis was asked, "Who do you think the best player in the NBA is?" And he said Jaylen Brown.
Maybe that was like a really long
It
joke,
was a
like a
very long
really
yeah,
con, very long con.
That's funny. I love it. What a guy. The
yeah.
Mets.
Watch
All
out for the
right.
I
Bucks,
I
boys.
I, I
All
could see
right.
it though. I mean, Giannis is Lindor. Giannis is
Mm,
playing at MVP caliber status right now. He's putting up
yep.
50 points a game. I'm not talking silver. I'm talking points.
Yeah.
Um, Not actually, but I think he's had like 42 and 59. Like that's an average of 50.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, in his past two games. So we need Alonzo, we need Chris Middleton to come back. Alonzo was hurt a little bit in the middle of the season, but he came back, and we need Chris Middleton to come back and start hitting those threes. And yeah, before the in-season tournament, the NBA Cup, I'm still calling it its old boring name from last year. Before the NBA Cup
Yeah.
started, I said that the Bucks are going to turn it around and win the NBA Cup.
Whoa, that's a good take. I like that take.
I posted it on Instagram. I didn't post it on Twitter. So if anyone follows me on Twitter, sorry, I should have put it there too for you. But yes, that is my bold take is that the
I
Bucks are
like
going to
it.
turn it around, and they've done nothing to prove me wrong so far. At least Giannis hasn't.
It's true.
If he gets that support from the bench players, we'll see.
Do you think if the Bucks don't turn it around, is Giannis no longer a Milwaukee Buck by the end of the season?
No.
You think
Wait.
not?
Yeah. Yes.
You
Yes,
think he
he
still
will be a
is?
buck.
He still is.
Yes.
I think they'd have to get something really good for him. I think like like at least a 3-for-1. But it's hard. In fantasy sports, I don't really enjoy those type of trades, giving up one of your amazing guys for three, even like great players, because one elite player is worth five, starting five against Giannis, probably. Yeah, I think no, but I do think if the offer is good enough and he wants out, I think he's earned the right to go where he wants.
I think
Very
that's the
true.
key, is that if he wants out, which I don't think he does.
We
So I
will
think
see.
he's staying.
Speaking of Giannis, he scored 104 so rare points.
Yeah,
104 or 97, but I have is
a little bonus.
bonus
Yeah.
with my common. He put up 104 points for my so rare lineup. That's crazy. Giannis is going nuclear. Holy cow.
Is that the first 100 of the year? I think so. I could be wrong about that. But Giannis might have put up
100
the
with the
first 100 of the year. Yeah.
'Think
with
you're
the
right.
bonus. That is
Oh, yeah, that's true. That's true. That's true. Even still, 97. That
yeah.
might be the highest score this year. We will
I don't
check that. We will peep that for sure. We'll have
even
our producer get on that.
even going back, I don't even that might be the record. I don't did Luca get 100?
Luca's
A
gotten over
hundred
100. I
100?
want to say Jokic has too.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, I could see, yeah, Mr. Joker going fully
Mhm.
God mode.
There's been a couple. We'll get onto that for sure. But I guess we can't dabble on too much here at the beginning of the episode because we have a short one today. We are recording, we're trying a new day of recording and a new day of uploading. So thank you for your patience if you're used to listening to us on Wednesday or sometimes even Tuesday. Those days for us don't make as much sense to upload, not because of our schedules, but because of how the Sorare schedule is constructed. Each game week starts on Monday and Friday. So if we're uploading our podcast on Tuesday, it's either late for the previous game week or very early for the following game week. Whereas if we record it on Thursday and upload it on Friday, it's a perfect timing for the new game week to drop on Sorare NBA. So at least for the NBA season, we might stick with this format. We're going to try it out. But for the reason that this episode is going to be shorter, we just got some things going on. So, yeah.
Baseball's got the
But
same schedule too.
yeah,
So maybe it's just like
maybe we
Thursday's
stick
just
with
great
exactly.
overall.
Maybe we stick with it. Baseball, since you're getting that like cumulative score versus the day-to-day score, not
True.
as important to get it in like right away, I think, as long as your players aren't getting injured. But not a topic for here nor there. I I think we should get right into it.
Yeah.
I think we should.
I got the jet. I got the
You
jet
got the
up,
jet.
boys. I got the
Oh,
jet.
let's go.
You guys did a good job covering the jet last week, and of course, what to do with essences. Andrew, did you
I
ever
got
share the
so lucky.
spreadsheet? Or
I need to. I need to.
yeah,
And it's funny. I went against my better judgment and I pulled in the lowest essence threshold of 50 and I won a Zach 80. So that was a
wild.
huge dub. He's already out of my gallery. So shout out to the person who bought him from me.
Yeah.
Uh, but he did not earn me any points in so rare, but he did help me get a couple players into my gallery with that. But yes, Essence is great if you craft it and get lucky. But yes, I've done a little breakdown on the value of Essence. In fact, I might actually have to update the player values since Essence, if you really think about it, is worth how much a Sorare card is worth. Not to get all meta on everyone, but of course, you're what you're crafting is really what you're after, and you can obviously turn those cards that you just literally made out of thin air into cash. So it's a pretty nice feature.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Well, without further ado, I would say this week we're taking a look at the Sorare NBA Cup,
Game week
round
8.
two. Round 2, game week 8.
Game week 8.
That means divided by 2 game weeks per week.
Yep.
Are we
We're
a
a month
month
in.
into the season already?
Yeah, we were
That
saying
A
that.
month in.
that's crazy. That is wild. All right. Look at all of those banging players that we're
Yep.
looking at right now. Andrew has every single one of them because he's a whale.
I
Um,
don't. Oh, if you are
no,
curious, you can go to own.
I know you're
I
clearly not
don't.
clicked on owned yet. Yeah,
Not
yeah, yeah.
much
I
went away though. Not much went away when he
ah,
swiped it over.
I got common. I got common. I didn't click refresh. I didn't click refresh. But
Ah,
again,
you're right.
we talked
You're
about this at the beginning of the season, guys. We kind of nailed this top five of Jokic, Embiid, Davis, Giannis, Luca. That is still the top five. Actually, Wemby not even on this list. I think he might be injured.
Wemby's had a slow
Um,
start to the season.
oh, here he is.
Um,
Or if I filter it, oh, I got to filter it by best projection. Wow, so they really don't like Embiid this week. That's
right.
hilarious. So if I filter it by then, right now it's sorted by L10. But let's see who they think is going to have the best game week. Again, I don't think much is going to change from the list. But that explains why Wemby. Okay, now Wemby is in our top three with Shea. Hey Jacob, shout out to Shea. You kind of nailed that one. Um, but looking at which players are going to break into that MVP category right now, it's Giannis and Jokic and Luca from our first grouping, and we have some new entrants. I don't know if we put Wemby in there, but we have Shea and Anthony Davis in there, who are have having a really good start to the season.
you
Yeah.
at first you mentioned Embiid, and my
Yeah,
personal advice for Embiid is
yeah.
stay as far away as possible. That's He's
Agreed.
been on the bench to start the season.
Yep,
He's gonna
he's
be
young. Yeah,
back on the bench later on this season with whatever injury that he picks up along the way. And just an inconsistent Sorare player, you don't want that in your lineup. Even if he is putting up a few 70s, even if he does have potential to put up what Giannis just did in a 97, there's also a pretty high potential he puts up a big fat zero for a month
yep.
at a time. So I would stay away from Embiid. Other than that, yeah, our beginning of the season, I think we did pretty good there with our projections. I mean,
Yeah.
would you say basketball is the easiest sport, maybe, to pick a top five?
If
Or
you're
maybe like
since
a,
it's
Ooh.
because I
yes, because it
feel
has the
like,
fewest variance.
yes,
Yeah.
like
Agreed.
Jokic, obvious, Giannis, obvious, Luca, obvious. Shea was kind of a
That's a good pick. That's
he
a dark
was
horse
he
pick.
was a top 5 MVP candidate last year for most of the season. So it wasn't a crazy stretch. Wemby, rookie, but also he's Wemby, not the craziest stretch either. Has had or hasn't had the greatest start to the season,
Yeah.
but I I watched a video about him actually. Long story short, like the shooting versus the post takes that he has are very different than what he was doing last year, just because of how teams are
Mhm.
guarding him differently. So once he gets into like locked into the season, starts like picking up on those defenses that teams are playing on him that he hasn't seen before, I assume he's going to be back up there as well. And then, yeah, I mean, you got 80 up there. Harden.
Yeah. That's a
Okay.
name we haven't said. We have not
Yeah.
said that name on this
Yeah.
podcast.
Mm-hmm.
And your boy, LaMelo.
LaMelo.
Hey, if he doesn't get injured, Hornets are
Yeah.
looking pretty
Yeah.
good.
It's true.
Hornets are
That is
looking
true.
pretty good.
Trey Young, Cade is maybe finally coming into his own. Jason Tatum, we never actually, yeah, we definitely disrespected Tatum. That's all right. He doesn't deserve to be in the top five Sorare projections, even though he does have the potential to put up those scores. But yeah, I think so far a name to look out for is probably the one that Jacob mentioned in Shea, maybe James Harden, especially because he has 2 games. But I would say, yeah, the biggest fall of our group, big five, is definitely has to be Mr. Embiid, who is, to Jacob's point, not having a great start to the season. So definitely
He hasn't
MVPs
played.
make or break your team. Not having
I
one of
mean,
them,
Jokic looks bad, but with an L10 of 67,
yeah,
it's hard to keep projecting him to keep scoring like that. But he might be the safest MVP play out of anybody. Because his floor is so high. His
yeah,
off nights he's putting up 40 solar points still. So but yeah, you can't really go wrong with these top couple players. Outside of people getting injured or having an off night because we are a month in already. People will get tired. There's a lot of games being played. So
Yes.
some of these older veterans like James Harden might start seeing some nights where they don't get as many minutes, they get the night off, that kind of thing. So be on the lookout for that already.
And that's why, if we go to the other nice feature of this, looking at those guys that are expected to have much better game weeks, likely because the big guy in front of them is taking the night off. So who we got at the top of this list? Actually, it's some of the same plays that we saw in the middle of the week. Jacob, are you familiar? Is Charlotte going crazy for Diabite? Diabite?
Musa
Musa.
Diabite.
Diabate, yeah. They talk about him on the radio a lot, the Charlotte Sports Radio. Yeah,
There we go.
absolutely. With Mark Williams, with the centers
Yeah.
situation in Charlotte, it's one of the most injured positions in the league.
Yep.
And you're going to see players need to step up in order for the Hornets to be good. And you're going to see players with like 11 so rare average points for a center put up
Yep.
30 points because he's going to be getting, hopefully, 10 rebounds a game as the starting center. And the Hornets situation is that Mark Williams, like, who's a good player, has been injured since last season. He's been questionable to say the least. And Diabate's needed to be, or he's going to step up, hopefully, with the shower projections. We'll see if he ends up putting up an actual 30-point day. But yes, that's he's the real deal, at least for like the short term. Keep in mind,
Yep.
definitely coming off the bench later in the season once everyone's healthy, or if he makes a name for himself, hey, then his average won't be 11 anymore. So
It's
that's
kind of
my
funny that that's exactly how Mark Williams got the starting job at center was because somebody got
Was it
hurt.
Thor? Was it Thor last year?
No, it was
Mason Plumley.
Plumlee got
Plumlee.
hurt, and Mark Williams took over and never really lost a spot. So it feels very similar to that situation. Um, I think Mark Williams is still too young and talented to get booted out like that, but maybe when he comes back, Diabate will earn or will have earned more minutes off of Williams. The centers, like you said, the center is a tough position. Those guys probably get worn out the most. So Diabate might be a great pickup.
Yep.
I'm pretty sure. Yes. So Nick Richards, the other center that Charlotte has, is also injured.
Oh my
There we
So
gosh.
go.
yes, yeah, I was just making sorry, I was just looking up just to make sure. But yes, that's two injuries right there. Musa
Yep.
Diabate. Hey, in-season card if you're looking for this weekend for a little quick play to
Yep.
try and win some NBA season cup money.
Yes.
What's his so rare card going for?
According to this, the floor, I believe this is not new season, or it includes both new and old. It's 267 euros, so about $3,
Here, I'll look him
give
up.
or take. But the important thing I want to hammer with these type of players, you're buying them for the game week. If you're kidding yourself that like the guys that are meta plays for one game week probably will not be meta plays for the following game week or even the ones after that. When I am getting a player like this in my lineup, I'm kind of viewing it like the entry cost of having a team where it's like, okay, this week I'm going to try to go from 50th place to number one. And for me, that cost is buying a limited Diabite. Um, that is kind of how I look at this. I think if you want to hold on to these cards, you can. But for me, the strategy is you get them, especially with the 50% bonus or 50% discount with market credits. Then you take a 50% haircut on him, but you only paid 50% for him. So perhaps you could even exit without having to lose too much money on that trade. And especially if you get people that are jumping in after the scores happened, which unfortunately in Sorare, you do not get the scores from previous game weeks. So I like to think of these guys as rental players, but very, very short-term rental players, not a season, but probably just one single game week.
Something to take note here is if you're playing limited or above, his limited cards are going for a lot.
Oh wow.
His for if you have market credit, you can instant buy a new Musa Diabate for $22, $11 with 50% market credit.
Wow.
That's a pretty good haircut. Okay, so then maybe we'll
Yeah,
have to get Sorare NBA
but
Jet to update this price.
yes, so I wouldn't necessarily trust the prices right away on Sorare NBA Jet. Maybe it's still lagging a bit behind there. Not sure. But what I am sure about is that if you are still like, oh, dude, I can't afford that. Why are you telling me about this player? Look at these projections and try and swap for them in common. I have won
Yep. Yep.
I shouldn't say so much, but a lot of essence from common, from daily common, in fact. Even those 1-star boxes, I've had one-star box pop off and give me 10 essences. So you always
Whoa,
have,
that's
yeah,
sick.
you always have a chance. I've also had a 3-star box give me like 2 or 3, so
Yep.
but you always have a chance that just by swapping those players in and out in your common lineups, you'll pop off. And with a cost of 11,
Yep.
like, come on. I might do
These
this
are
right now.
exactly the players that you should be swapping for in common. Because the idea is that you're going to spend less essence on a player. Like you're buying 30 points, but it costs 11 to do so. That's a win every single time, especially if you have so many essence. Or if you think about your own dollars like that, you're buying. Although to be fair, an 11 average player is not really priced based off of their current L10. It's all about projection. So maybe it's only a common that applies to. But yes, these are great players to target in the common game. And I've been able to leverage this page for previous game weeks. I finished 34th in limited contender, or not limited,
Okay.
common contender out of
Whoa.
over 10,000 entrants. I
Yeesh.
believe it was either 30, I was around 30th place, I know, and I won a tier 4 limited, which is now in my gallery. Super awesome. This page is great. And yeah, these are good. To me, these are ideas of players that you want to target. Um, but for the Sorare NBA Cup, since the cap is 120 across 4 players, since the MVP slot does not count, I do think that you probably should look at players that are 30 and above or 25 and above, let's call it, for those since you don't want to leave too much cap room since a Nick Claxton is probably going to put up more points than Musa in a given game
Hey,
week.
hey. Musa Diabate set his so rare record in their last game against the Magic with 44 so rare points.
Wow.
Wow.
Guess who's got him in his common?
You?
This guy. Oh yeah.
Let's
Wow.
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. Yeah. I've been playing him
So,
all week.
hey, Nick Claxton versus Musa Diabate. We'll watch it. We'll watch out for it this weekend.
Yeah. I mean, according to these projections, Claxton's supposed to win more, but we'll see about that. Maybe, yeah, maybe Diabate can take him.
Yeah, look at Diabate's minutes projected versus minutes average. 16 minutes average,
Yep.
25 minutes projected. That's crazy. That's
Yep.
Yeah.
another very, I would say, overlooked category of so rare NBA Jet is the minutes average versus minutes projected.
Yep.
Um, Look at Peyton Watson down there for the
Yeah.
Nuggets,
Yep.
who has
12.
12 more minutes. He's projected to play 12 more minutes than he does on average.
That's a
And
full quarter.
yeah, that's a full quarter of him projected, of course, putting up extra assists, rebounds, points, obviously, so on and
You
so
can't
forth.
score if you're not on the court.
Exactly, exactly. You
True.
also can't turn the ball over if you're not on the court, but this
That
is
is true.
literally where the saying "you miss 100% of the shots you don't take" comes from.
Literally.
So
True.
I, that's another category that I actually kind of like looking at on
Yeah.
Solar NBA Jet for
I
sure.
like the combo, right? Like so if you look at what their projected score is going to be, you look
Hmm.
at Diabate at 19 plus 19, and then you combine that with looking at his minutes going up to 25 minutes for +9. When you combine those two factors together, it makes sense, right? So I always like to look kind of at both. Like for example, if you go down to scroll up a little bit, sorry, up. You look at Jamal Murray, for example. Two
Yeah,
games in the
no
game
minutes.
week, projected 11 more points than normal, but not projected any more minutes. He's somebody who's just had a bad start to the season, so his L10 is low, and they're thinking he's going to turn it around. So that's why you kind of have to look at both and see it kind of help you understand why they might be projected to score as much as they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another reason why that number could be closer to 0 is the fact that they just have a good matchup. If they're going to be playing the same amount of minutes, but say
Yep.
they're playing against someone who's hurt, say Giannis was taking on Musa Diabate.
Yeah, he is Charlotte. They're playing Charlotte. They're playing Charlotte
In
tomorrow.
fact,
Yeah,
this is a
yeah.
perfect example. Giannis is taking on Musa Diabate
And dominate him.
instead of Mark Williams and or Nick Richards. Yeah. Giannis also has a favorable matchup there, even though his projected minutes might be closer to 0. In fact, look him up real quick. I wonder his projected minutes are.
Giannis's?
Yeah. I bet it's closer to 0. It's actually
Yeah,
less than
Yeah.
1,
less.
or minus
Less than
1,
one.
yeah.
Yep.
But he's still projected to put up one more point than his best projected. So I think Giannis would be a good play too this week. MVP.
He's away. He is away, but I still think he should show up.
Like being at home has done anything for the Bucks this season.
That's true. That's
He
true.
is coming off of a back-to-back too, in which he kind of carried the team for both games. So, um, 1 day of rest between, but it's a travel day. So I'll be curious to see if his minutes drop more than just the -1. With Dame hopefully coming back from a concussion, you might see his points drop
Let's
off a
see.
little bit, but it's hard to say. Yeah,
Mhm.
he's got a chance to play. I think he's
Yep.
questionable or game
He's
time
supposed to.
decision.
So are NBA Jets got him playing, according to
All
this.
right. There you
Heyo.
go. There you go. He must have cleared concussion protocol then.
Hopefully. Always do your own research. This is a
There's
great
always
starting
that.
tool,
Yes.
but
Yes.
always make sure, especially with some of these guys that are game time decisions. All right, here we go. They have him leaving the concussion for the game on Friday, since this is again European time.
Yes. So there you go.
Boom.
There you have it.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's a little bit of a rushed, not rushed. I think that was a good
Oh,
episode. Yeah.
detailed, thorough,
Detailed, but clear, concise.
focused.
Yes. Compact episode there. The triple C. Clear, concise, and compact.
there you go. I
Like
mean,
a
in this day
Honda
and age,
Civic.
oh, in this day and age, probably the shorter the better. Who wants to sit and listen to
It's
these
true.
hour-and-a-half long podcasts? Give us the 30-minute quick in and out, easy. You got
We
all
need
the
to get
Also, what
into
information
you
you
need to
our
know.
need.
analytics there then and see if our listeners are Gen Z or older.
It's true. It's
Because
true.
if they're
It's
Gen
true.
Z, we might just need to stick to the YouTube Shorts game.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
If if it's high, they could also be falling asleep with the podcast playing.
That's
So
true.
True.
we also don't know that.
So
That
we
could
need
That
to
is
add
true.
like random sound effects at minute markers throughout the episode.
Wake up.
Did you hear that, Oso?
All right.
He
Well,
said
there
we're
you
too
have it.
boring.
There you have it.
Nash, Andrew, you can head off. Do you want to do a pickle for fun?
Oh, yeah,
Peace.
sure.
Yeah,
Let's do it.
Andrew's
Easy
gotta leave.
early.
Early piece. Let's do a pickle for fun. Why
Let's
not?
do it.
But let's
Out of
do.
season pickle.
We can only guess. We can only guess players who have won any sort of award so far this offseason.
Oh, okay. I like that. I like that. Let's go William Contreras, your Silver Slugger.
Silver Slugger. There you go. Not Wilson Contreras.
All right.
Okay. No, this is good. So it's a righty in either the AL East or AL West. And let's see, AL East. Let's do nominations too.
Aaron
Like for
Judge.
example, Luis Heel.
Oh, sure. For Cy Young.
Yeah. Or no, rookie of the year too. He's also
Oh, well,
26. Oh well.
that's okay. Okay, so
All
it's
right, so it's
AL
the
West.
West starting pitcher.
Oh, oh, from the Dominican Republic. I didn't even realize that.
Oh no.
AL West. This is so hard out of season too.
Oh no.
There's not
We
really anybody else to guess.
let's see. Well, let me AL West Cy Young nominations. This is cheating, but like I don't know.
Is that there's not any,
There's not any.
right? Because it's Scooble.
It's Scooble, Clase, and Lugo.
Yeah,
Okay. AL
Central. Wait, they're all in the Central. Um, is there nominees for like reliever of the year and stuff like that yet? Probably not.
I don't know. Gold Glove nominations.
Do we just have to make a guess off of
All
this?
right. Gold Glove starting pitcher nominations. Yes, Griffin Canning. He's not from the
Okay,
Dominican Republic though.
we'll take it. We'll get rid of the oh, I was thinking,
He plays on Atlanta now, but he started off the year on the Angels. Oh my God.
there's nobody else?
No, there's nobody else from the
Oh,
AL
the AL
West.
West is trash.
What on earth are we doing here?
This could be anybody.
Um, where is Luis Castillo from?
Venezuela, probably. No.
Oh, he's older though.
We could get rid of
Guess him, guess
Seattle.
him. It could be Seattle, yeah.
Okay, it's not Seattle.
Okay. I mean, we're off the train already for nominated
We
players
are.
because it's
Now we
literally
just need to
impossible.
now we just need to get the player.
Oh yeah, okay, we can narrow it down by team.
Okay,
I
so the
guess you could no, but you
Astros.
can't say Griffin Canning because
What about Blanco? Where's he from?
oh, Ronel Blanco.
31?
He's 31?
Wasn't he? Isn't he a rookie? What? 31-year-old rookie? Well, we'll get rid of the Astros. Okay, Astros.
Oh, this should be easy then. Um,
Who
Christian
the heck?
Vasquez
Oh yeah.
or Vasquez?
Vas.
What's his name? Not Christian Vasquez. Christian.
No. God, dude, out of season is so tough.
Oh, this is rough. This is rough.
Um,
Um, oh, there's Framber.
like Hunter Brown,
Christian Javier.
Frambler, Javier.
Yes, that's got to be him too. Oh my God. I can't believe I got that.
Wow.
I cannot believe I got that.
Wow.
Well,
Okay.
man, there were no Astros nominated, no Astros pitchers nominated for anything.
Dude, the AOS, man. The
Wow.
AOS, trash.
Wow.
Get it out of here. Worst division in baseball. You heard it here.
You heard it here.
All right.
We'll have to do a bit of a baseball episode soon. Maybe the week of Thanksgiving. We'll
Yeah,
do like a year in review, go over our picks and stuff.
that's a good idea.
Yeah. So, not next week's episode, but two from now will be something like that. But expect, well, who knows? I was gone last week. This episode's short this week. Next week, maybe we'll be back to normal. I think we'll be back to normal. We'll see. But
Sure.
expect Friday episodes for sure from now on. Hopefully that'll coincide better with the game weeks. If we don't see results, if we start seeing everyone's like, nah, I don't want to listen to this on a Friday, then we'll start uploading it earlier in the week again for sure. So let us know what you guys think about that. Of course, check us out on YouTube as well if you are a Spotify listener and vice versa and give us a like, comment. You can now comment on Spotify.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So that's cool.
Yeah,
Leave us a rating there too, of course.
absolutely.
And I think that's about it. That's all we
There you
got for
have
you
it.
today.
There you have it. A quick one. Hopefully you enjoyed. Like you said, thanks for all your support. Thanks for going and doing all the things that Jacob just said to go do. And until next week, you just attended batting practice. Now you're ready to get in the game. Peace.
Peace.